Well, hello, hello, hello. How are you? Welcome to Unstoppable Lionesses. We are excited about today's show. I have two lionesses to bring your way. They are going to really, really roar and just take you to a whole nother level in your unstoppableness and in your uniqueness. But first, I wanted to open up and talk about your superpower, the fact that your uniqueness is your superpower. And that is part of what helps you to become unstoppable. So often we try to fit in, we try to morph into what other people are doing. We're in the different magazines and we're trying to match what the latest trend and the latest fad is. And as my pastor would say, a fad is nothing but for a day. So stop trying to chase that fad. It is really, really important that you learn how to embrace your unique you, because that's where you are the most authentic, is when you are who you were divinely designed to be. You need to recognize and understand that God crafted each and every one of us with a design, a divine design, and it was on purpose. He created you on purpose, for purpose, to walk in purpose. You are not a mistake, and you never were one. I don't care how you entered into this earth realm. You came in legitimately because you came in through the matrix of your mother's womb. I don't care what positions your parents were in when you came into the earth realm, whether they were happily and blissfully married or whether you were a product of a one night stand. The bottom line is that God initiated those two people to come together to give you your unique design, your DNA. All right. And to make you as unique as you are, He would move everything to get you to align with what His purpose for your creation is. I can say that firsthand because I'm a product of that. I was given up at birth because my sperm donor, as I like to refer to him, did not want anything to do with me or my mother once I was conceived, which was fine. This is the person and the individual that God so orchestrated and designed to be that one to culminate and make my seed flourish. Okay. I'm not mad about it anymore. There was a period and a time where I had some major issues, some issues within the recesses of my heart regarding this gentleman. But you know what? I thank and praise God once I resigned myself to this was just all a part of God's plan, then it became okay. But God took me and at 3 months old put me in a home with these middle-aged people who were 45 and 49 years old and taking on the responsibility of this little 3-month-old baby to see me through life. But it was part of my story. It was part of what made me uniquely who I am. And then in my 60s, God decided to pull the veil back and reveal who those biological people were that He initiated to birth me in this earth realm. And boy, was there some learning about that to do. But that's another story and another show, okay? But what I'm saying to you is the fact that no matter how you came about, no matter how you entered here, you were on purpose. You were not a mistake. And all of the different nuances and the different storylines that you've had to walk through has just added to your uniqueness. So stop trying to fit in. You were never created to fit in. You were created to be uniquely who you are. And the reason, excuse me, that it is your superpower is because nobody else can do it. Nobody else can be authentically you but you. That's why we've got to embrace it. Your lips aren't too big, your nose is not too wide, your hair is not too short, your butt is not too big. Okay? Whatever your shape is, however you have been designed to go through this life, it's part of your uniqueness. It is all part of the qualities that make you you. Even those times where you felt abused, you felt misused, you felt rejected, you walked through pain, you walked through situations and circumstances that would put the average person in an insane asylum, and you may have even wind up in one yourself. It is still all a part of your uniqueness, because all of those different little snapshots that you encountered as you walk through this life is all added to make you you. And guess what? There is power in your authenticity. You have a unique frequency that emanates from you, and it draws other people to you. So often I have been that person to say, you know what, I don't understand why people just always come and want to tell me their life story. I kid you not, I promise you, I could be in a grocery store walking and shopping, and out of the blue, people will just come up and just start talking to me. And I know, like, most of the time, I don't have that little friendly, come on, I want to be in your presence kind of look. But yet and still, I draw people. And one time I was asking God, why everybody comes to me with their problems? Why do I have to solve the world's problems, quote unquote, like I'm all that, right? But he said something. He said, well, I created you to be the answer. And he left it at that. I created you to be the answer. So if I was created to be the answer, then there has to be a question. And what I have found is that there's a whole bunch of questions, and I can't answer them all. But there's a large percentage of them that I can answer, because this is part of my uniqueness of being created to be the answer. But guess what? It is not just my uniqueness. Each and every one of us were created to be the answer for something. And it's part of our authenticity that allows us to answer the question. So we need to celebrate our differences, not let them divide us, but celebrate them. World would be really, really boring to me if everybody was like me, because I get on my own nerves sometimes. Okay. I'm so happy that there's diversity in this earth realm so that I can experience different experiences. I can go on different adventures. I can sit down and conversate with people that may have a difference of an opinion. And guess what? I might learn something. And likewise, they may learn something from me. So our differences are meant to be celebrated, but we can only celebrate them if we're walking in our own uniqueness. If we are comfortable in our own skin, if we recognize and understand that there's nothing wrong with us. Yes, we always want to continually being improving in who we are. And that comes because of whose we are. And because of whose we are, there's a constant unveiling of who we are. I say this all the time because I really, really love this line in the movie Shrek. When Shrek and Donkey are walking down the road and they're talking about Shrek being an ogre, and Shrek says, well, you know, an ogre is like an onion. And Donkey starts saying, why? Because it makes people cry. And all of these different things Donkey comes back with. And he said, no, because onions have layers. And that's who we are. Each and every one of us has layers, but those layers make us uniquely who we are. So what we need to do is stop comparing ourselves with everybody else and doubting our authenticity based on what somebody else is doing or has said. Come into oneness with who God says you are. Come into oneness with who God created you to be, and stop comparing yourself, because comparison is the thief of joy and power. As long as you are trying to compare yourself with somebody else, you will never be able to enjoy the uniqueness of who you are. And if you cannot enjoy it, then you cannot flex it as your superpower. So I want to encourage you today. When you get up in the morning, you don't even have to wait till you get up in the morning. I want you right now to go and find you a mirror. If you're a woman, you probably have one close by you. It's either on your dresser, it's in your purse, or walk on into that bathroom. Look at the image that is staring back at you and say, you know what? You are right. I like you. because you are uniquely who you were created to be. All right. There is a famous quote that I'm going to leave you with, and it says, "The things that make me different are the things that make me me." It's from A.A. Milne, I believe is the name. But anyway, it's so true. The things that make you different are the things that make you you. All right. All right. Now we've got our lioness, Miss Patsy Alston, about to come on here and tell you about your leadership qualities as being uniquely you. And I'm going to get out the way so you have the full screen, my sister.
So awesome. Oh my goodness. So, y'all, I cannot believe that Dr. Quillette just sat there and explained the first of the four things that I'm going to be talking about today. Let me introduce myself first before I jump ahead and get super excited. My name is Patsy Alston. I am the founder of Key Leadership Associates. I am also one of the co founders and ambassadors for Queen. Y'all saw a couple of weeks ago, Taffany Williams is the founder of Queen Kingdom Women Empowernet. And I also run another little side business, Alston Arts Productions, where my husband and I get to do all kinds of fun things from television shows and videos to hospitality and all the beautiful things that we do with events and I, I, I don't even know what to tell you that I do in that arena except for whatever's necessary. I would love to tell you and smudge it a little bit on the short side that I only have 20 plus years of leadership, but it's actually, I was counting today, and it's actually over 30 years of leadership experience. And I would like to say 20, but this hair will tell you 30, the face you may think it's 20, the grandkids make it 30. So um but I'm super excited to share you with you guys today the things that I have found that make teams the most productive, because I know that if you are a leader out there or you are an aspiring leader, an emerging leader, you have questions. You're like, I have metrics that I have to hit, and I have this team, and I have a goal that needs to be successful. How in the world do I get this team to act as a cohesive unit so that my metrics and my goals are all hit without sacrificing any hairs to being pulled out by the roots? Well, I'm going to tell you a secret, and that we serve a God who has a kingdom. And that kingdom is an upside down kingdom. Let me explain. If you want to hit all of your goals, then make people your priority. However, if you ignore the people and you make the goals your priority, guess what? You're going to end up losing both. It's just how it works. Um, Let me give you some keys, since I am Key Leadership Associates, and this spot is keys to people first leadership. Some keys that will give you the ability to hit those metrics, keep your people, and allow yourself to be unstoppable in your leadership role. Number one, K, know yourself. Dr. Coylette touched on that while ago. You have to know that you are unique, that you are a superhero in your uniqueness, that you yourself have everything you need. God has put everything you need inside of you in order for you to be successful. You need to know your strengths. You need to know your weaknesses. You need to know how you show up to your people. You need to be able to get in touch with how you process information so that you can communicate more effectively how you need that information presented to you. You it that's a whole thing. I actually have written a book and it's called Keys to People First Leadership, and it'll be out on Amazon, I believe the second week of November. It's in final edits right now, but I'm super excited about it. It's not a big book, but it's Keys to People First Leadership, and it explains in more detail these processes. So you've got K, which is know yourself. E, empower others, and you have to be able to understand that they also have superpowers, that they are unique, that they are people first, that they desire to take ownership and thrive. We'll talk more about that in a minute. We have to yield, which is the why, which is to create space for everyone else's contributions. I don't know about you guys, but I am a bit of a talker, especially when I get nervous and I just blurt it all out there, trying to rush to get it all out there before I'm interrupted. That's a thing that I'm healing from, but I have to learn how to yield, to make space for everyone else to have conversation as well. And S is for service. We lead by example. We put other people's needs first, the needs of the team, the needs of the individuals on the team. And that creates an atmosphere for thriving. So, what makes keys different? These keys different is because they're kingdom keys, because they put the emphasis on the people. They put the emphasis on service. They put the emphasis on others. And they're practical strategies. Everything I outline in my books, it's practical strategies. It's just practical. That comes with a people first mindset. And it blends task oriented leadership, because we still have tasks we have to complete, we still have metrics we have to hit, with authentic connection. Because without the connection, the people are not going to be able to grasp the vision that you're trying to put before them. Now, I'm going to give you some practical tips right now, okay? There's three words you have to remember, four keys, three words: see, hear, believe. How do you implement these keys? You see them as people first, right? You see them as people. You hear what they have to say, and you hear them without filter, without offense, and you believe that they want to be successful. There is not a person on the face of this planet that has ever woke up today and says, I think I'm going to be a failure today. Not going to happen. Everyone wants to be successful. They want to be acknowledged. They want to be seen and heard and believed that they can do what they need to do. So, I don't know where I am in my time, but I'm going to tell you guys something. You can be the kind of team leader, be the kind of CEO, be the kind of entrepreneur that gives people space to be successful. You can do this. God can enable you with the grace to be able to see people as people first. It just takes discipline. You see them as people. So whenever you start being the victim or blaming other people for why things are not happening, or you start getting irritated or frustrated or aggravated with somebody, go to them. Find out maybe why things are not happening correctly. You might find out that it's just a glitch in the system. It's a small process correction that would make them from being the lowest producing person on your team to the biggest producing person on your team. It may be that they're having a situation or a confidence problem. So I want to encourage you guys, know yourself, know yourself, empower others, yield space for other people to be able to bring to the table what they think is important, and serve. By serving your team will be so cohesive, so knit together, so forward thinking and problem solving that you won't be able to hold them back. And you do that by seeing, hearing, and believing.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. People first. You know
Mm-hmm.
what? That's the key to any success, seriously, because God created us to love one another. It's one of the
Mm-hmm.
commands, right? So as long
Absolutely.
as we're putting each other first, then we have already won 90% of the battle of whatever we are trying to be successful in. I love it. Thank you, Patsy.
You're welcome.
Patsy will be back with us in just a few minutes. But right now, as I said earlier about knowing your uniqueness and embracing who you are, we now have de Havilland Mack, aka Chef Yeti, and she's going to be talking about that sacred bod that God gave you and how to be successful with it. Hey, Chef.
Well, hello, and welcome to Sacred Body. Let's talk health and wellness. I am De Havilland Mack, also known as Chef Fiji, and today, October the 31st, holds a very special date in my life. On this date, 12 years ago, October 31st, 2012, I was diagnosed with inflammatory breast cancer, a rare and aggressive form of breast cancer. So today I'm here to share my journey with you. How awesome is it that today I'm doing my segment on the day that I was diagnosed 12 years ago with with breast cancer. So my journey started with, kind of subtle. I noticed that my breast was red and hot one Wednesday morning. I woke up and I didn't really think anything about it. I just thought that I had slept on it wrong. And so initially I just like passed it off as nothing. But by Saturday, my breast was still hot and it was still red. And so at this point, I decided that maybe I should make an appointment with my gynecologist, even though I had just seen my gynecologist, you know, a month prior. So I want to emphasize this, like, know your body, stay in tune with your body, with the changes. No matter how small things may seem, it is crucial. When something feels off, it's important to the diagnosis October 31st, 2012. Um, I didn't have time to cry. That wasn't the first thing that I thought about. That the first thing I didn't think about, like, to say, God, why me? Why not me? I I went straight into business mode. I thought about my mom. I thought about my daughter who was in the 10th grade. I needed answers. I needed a plan of action, to move forward. I was more worried about how this diagnosis was going to affect them than, worried about myself and living. So my priority at that time was to just gather information from my doctor. I wanted a full plan of action before I told my daughter. I knew that if I approached her with the plan and, reassured her, you know, so that she wouldn't be scared. So once I met with my oncologist, I knew it was time for me to have a conversation with my daughter. but I wanted to approach it with kid gloves. So I immediately went over to her school, had a conversation with her counselors. I explained to them that I had just been diagnosed with breast cancer, and that I was going to have a conversation with her over the weekend. I wanted them to be aware, because my daughter is at school, more hours in the day than she's with me. Keep an eye on her, to support her, and just monitor her to make sure that she wasn't anxious at school or crying or just nervous. So I say, I tell anybody that's going through this, it's important that you build a support system. If you got kids and you need to have that conversation with them, they need a support system, not only at home but in their daily environment. I want her to be able to process the information. So I encourage anyone going through, reach out to your community, reach out to your friends, reach out to your family. You need to build a support system. No one should walk through this journey alone. It actually takes a village when you're going through something, as life threatening as cancer. But if there's one thing, I hope that you take away from my story, is the importance of knowing your body and advocating for yourself. My journey through cancer not only shaped me, but it inspired me with a new purpose. I founded Sacred Bod as a way to share the tools, lifestyle changes that help me heal and empower others to take charge of their health. It's not always about just food. It's about the sacred connection between mind, body, and the spirit of wellness. So today I shared my story of being diagnosed with inflammatory breast cancer, which is a rare and aggressive form of breast cancer. By the time that you're diagnosed with it, you're already in stage 3 or 4. And, it's challenging. So I chose to focus on, finding answers and creating a plan that could support not only my health, but support my family, to make sure that they were going to be okay to help me fight, because you need people to help you fight. I encourage, each of you to pay attention to your body. Pay attention to changes that are going on in your body. Be proactive rather than reactive or insignificant. Check it out. Being aware and responsive can be life-saving. If someone is going through something similar or experiencing, remember that, you're not alone. There are resources and communities available to you for help. There are resources like breastcancer.org, Living Beyond Breast Cancer, the Black Breast Cancer Alliance, unitedforher.org, nationalbreastcancer.org. On my next segment, when I come back, I don't know if it's next week or week after next, but on my next segment, we'll talk about the power of whole food, plant-based eating, and how it has supported my journey and countless others in healing their body and living fully. Your body wants to heal itself, and God has given us everything that we need on this earth in his pharmacy, to heal ourselves and to feed our body the things that it needs to heal. If there's one thing that I could leave you with today, it would be, your body is a sacred vessel. Listen to it, honor it, and trust in its ability to heal. Remember, every step toward live fully and fearless. Thanks, and I'll see you on my next segment.
Well, that was powerful. How strong you were and how you focused on your family and more so than the issue. I think that that's
Yeah.
really, really valuable, and again, like we're talking about superpowers here and how we utilize our uniqueness to to excel. Here you are all of these years later, and now you're using your story to help others to focus and to get better. And that's what it's all about. See, this everything that has been shared today ties in. It ties in with you utilizing who you are and the impact that who you are has on those people that are in your sphere of influence. When
Yeah.
we think about influencers, we're always thinking about celebrities and, and people with money, be it the sports people or the Hollywood stars or whatever. But you have the power to influence each and every person that's in your sphere, within your atmosphere, whether it's just one time or daily. You
Mhm.
have that power. And what de Havilland has just shared and what Patsy shared, it goes and it lends itself to being uniquely who they are.
Mhm.
You have that same power. You have that same power. So this has been awesome. This has been incredible. Patsy, you had mentioned that you've written a book. How
Yeah.
can people get in touch with you? How can they learn even more about the leadership qualities of people? How to people. People.
People first.
People.
Yeah, so I'm creating, I'm actually building the website now. But I do have my contact information up, and it's KLA, like you see on the screen, dot Alston, same as my last name, alstonent.com. So I have an umbrella company called Alston Enterprises, and that Alston ENT is my website. So this is a subpage for that. So KLA.alstonent.com.
Awesome, awesome. Now, I'm a little biased with Chef Fiji over here because I've had the opportunity to sample some of her goods. Okay. But Chef Fiji, how can people reach out and touch you? And they may want to eat a little something, something when they do.
I am on Instagram at Sacred Bod, or you can email me at info@sacredbod.com.
I'm really excited for the next time you come on with your segment because I had the honor of watching your transformation into a vegan. And it was like, guys, you wait till you hear that story. Okay. Because it was just like that. I mean, literally, it was like one day we were all sitting around eating seafood and having a good time. And the next day, she comes in and goes, I'm a vegan, y'all. And I was like, yeah, okay. And here we are, what, 5 years later? I'm like, and she was serious. And not only did she become a vegan, but she became an expertise within her craft and with plant-based eating. So I'm really, really excited for you guys to touch base. So, ladies, like, how important is it for each and every one of you, for each one of you, to really, really walk in the authentically you? Okay. How
Authenticity.
important, and I'm going to start with you, De Havilland, how important is that to what you do and what you lend yourself to in this earth realm?
I think it's very important, how can I tell you that you need to change what you're doing, but I'm out here looking like I'm over here doing something totally different from what I'm telling you. So you have to, for me, I need to be I have to walk in my truth, walk in what I'm telling you.
Mhm.
It's not a do as I say. It's too important for, people need to believe in what I'm doing so that they can heal themselves. And, if you can look at me and say, hey, she's really doing what it is that she's telling me to do,
Mhm.
versus, well, I just saw her over there at McDonald's getting a hamburger and french fries, but she's telling me I need to do this. No. If I'm telling you that you need to be eating plants, guess what? I'm eating plants too.
Mhm.
So I think it's very important to be authentic in what you're doing.
Awesome.
Mhm.
Patsy, like, here you are in the leadership sphere, and a lot of times leaders put on these masks. They're not authentic in who they are, but yet and still they're barking out orders and they're trying to tell other people what to do. How does that play a role in what it is that they're trying to do?
Wow. Well, Dr. Quillette, I will tell you that one of the things that you can do is to always be honest, because the biggest problem with lying is remembering your lies.
Mhm.
That
Because
part.
so if you're not authentic in yourself and you're not authentic in your response to people, then you will not remember how you showed up. And so, whenever life triggers or whenever situations happen, whenever you're stressed, when you're not in a place of peace, when you're not walking in your authentic self, you will not show up the same. And people don't feel safe. When you're in leadership, one of your jobs in leading people is to allow them to know that where you're leading them is safe.
Hmm.
And if you're not safe, then where you're leading them, they cannot trust that it's
Mhm.
safe. Because if people are not safe, they will not come up with creative solutions. They will not problem solve. They're only all of their energy, mental, emotional, and physical energy will go into protecting themselves.
Wow. That's good. That's really, really good. We always need to be trying to create a safe space around ourselves.
Mhm.
That is just totally, totally amazing. I could not agree more. As far as being authentic, and like you said to Havlin, if I see you at McDonald's, you can't tell me nothing about being a vegan, because there's nothing at McDonald's that's even remotely safe. Okay, and I'm sorry, y'all, but I was like, listen, I have a McDonald's story, and hey, obviously they're not my sponsor. Uh, This was years ago. Like, my dog she'll be 12 in May, but she was a puppy. And when she was a puppy, that dog ate everything: leather, paper, you name it. The dog would eat it. Okay. A friend of mine brought over some chicken nuggets and gave one to the dog. The dog played with the nugget, threw it up in the air. It was a ball. Chased it. I watched her and I was like, I'm done with McDonald's. I promise you. 'Cause it was like, if she won't eat that nugget and she eats everything. Remember that old commercial? Give it to Mikey. He
He'll eat
He
anything.
hates
What was Tati? You give it to Tati. Tati would eat anything. She would not eat that nugget. And for years, I was like, McDonald's may have some decent fries, but I just swore off McDonald's. Honest to God truth. Probably about 2 months ago, I was leaving Bible study and I was really, really hungry. And I was just like, I just need just to get something to nibble on. And the only thing around me was a McDonald's. And I said, the fish got to be okay, right? If I just get a filet of fish sandwich. I took about 3 bites of that thing and my stomach just started churning. And I had a stomach ache for 2 days. I promise you, I didn't even eat the whole thing. And I even told my husband, I say, see, there was a reason why I didn't eat. You have to be careful what you're doing to yourself. You
Yes.
really do, you
Mhm.
know? And that's part of being authentically you, is that you love you enough to protect you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right? Like
Mhm.
Patsy just said, you love you enough to keep you in a safe space.
Yep.
Yes.
And that's not just on the outside, but that's on the inside as well.
Yeah.
And I think that if we're not tapped into authenticity, then we're not safe on the inside. Because, Patsy, my mother used to tell me, if you tell one lie, you got to tell another one and another one and another one to keep covering up all the lies that you're telling. And that's
Mm.
why you can't remember them all.
Right.
Yeah. Can't keep them straight.
You can't keep them straight. But it's like that
Mhm.
if you're lying to yourself. Like I said about comparison, if you're trying to compare yourself to someone else,
Mhm.
if you're trying to live up to someone else's idea of who you were meant to be,
Mm-hmm.
Not going to work because it's not who you are. It is not who you are. That's one of the things that I love about both of you, Lionesses, that you are authentically who you are. Love it, lump it, hate it, whatever, but it is what it is.
Yep.
Okay? And I appreciate that. I can't stand fake and phony people. And if you know me, you know I am not.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm
No, he
definitely
is not.
and I'm definitely not.
Okay, yeah, that bull over there, she started getting fire coming out her nose.
Yes.
I can tell we're different. Like, okay, so we can talk about each other. But it's truth. When I first met Patsy, I learned that she spoke her mind. She spoke her truth. I can appreciate that. No, I'm really
Mm-hmm.
serious about that. I
Mhm.
appreciate that because I cannot stand somebody that's smiling in my face and talking about me behind my back. I will tell you in a heartbeat anything that I will say when you're not present, I will say in your presence.
Mm-hmm.
And
As
that's
my
just
as
true.
my mama said, she do 2 time talking.
Serious, serious. So, ladies, please hear what each of these lionesses are saying to you. All right. Number one, be authentic in how you honor your temple, which
Yeah.
is your body.
Mhm.
Know your body. I have a problem with doctors that won't listen to me. I don't care how many degrees you have and how long you've been in medical school. You don't know my body like I know my body.
Yeah.
If I'm going to tell you something is not right, you need to hear me. I'm
Mhm.
not a hypochondriac. I know
Right.
my body. All right. You
Mm-hmm.
know? And likewise, it's like I can't follow somebody that I don't trust.
Mm-hmm.
I have trust factors anyway, trust issues. But if I know, it's like, you can come into somebody's presence and you'd be like, I can't put my finger on it, but something is just not
Mhm.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not right. And that's because that person is not authentic.
That's
You can
exactly right.
feel it. Can't you, Patsy? You can
Mm-hmm.
feel it. You can feel it.
It's because you were saying a while ago that we have our own frequencies. And if I'm operating and thinking and projecting, even if it's even if it's not conscious, I'm not consciously lying, but I'm still not authentic in myself, then people know that. They
Yeah,
know that they can't get close to me. They know that they can't trust me. And
right.
there's so many people who leaders or just moms and dads or kids that are like, nope, I don't understand why people aren't coming and want to sit by me or want to talk to me. And a lot of times it's because they're so busy protecting themselves that they are not allowing their frequency to
Right.
be let out.
Yeah. Yeah. And they need to just change that dial just a little bit. Just fine tune it just a little bit, and take the mask off.
Yep.
Ladies, take the mask off. Now, the Hamlet knows me just a little bit better than Patsy does. She will tell you this right here, it don't lie to you. It's so real. My face will tell on me every time.
Yep.
It is not a mask. It's not a mask. And I can smell the BS a mile away and it will show. It will
Right.
show. Okay. So it's like take the mask off. Just be who you are. I know that they're like in some professional settings, sometimes you just have to kind of have that stoic face on you. But yeah, I have a hard time even with that. She'll tell
I
you.
haven't mastered that. I haven't mastered it yet.
But you know what? And I'm not that hard on myself because of it,
Mhm.
because I would rather you see it and know that I see you, okay,
Mhm.
then let's just try and play this game with one another. I don't play games well. Never have. Was never
No.
athletic. It's just like I don't play games well. you know. So
Yeah.
ladies, in wrapping up the show today, what we want you to know, what we say at the end of every show, is that an empowered woman empowers the world. And if your empowerment is in being authentically who you are, then that's how you impact all of those around you. So we are so excited that we had the opportunity to share with you today. We pray, we earnestly pray that something was said that will help you
Mhm.
to step into your authentic self and be that unstoppable lioness that you were created to be. Thank you for spending this time with us. Have a great week. And